Welcome to The Real and the Woo. I'm your host, Lauri Stern. Join me as I invite experts and friends to discuss a range of topics, from the factual and practical to the mystical and magical. Consider this your virtual happy hour filled with lively, authentic, and meaningful conversations meant to inform, inspire, and ignite your curiosity. Whether you are very real or super woo, this podcast is just for you. Welcome to The Real and the Woo. I'm your host, Lauri Stern, and I have the amazing, authentic, and powerful Debbie Griggs. And I'm so honored to have you back because you were one of my very first dream guests and one of my first guests. And I'm about to produce my third season on the show. And so thank you so much for taking the time. I know you are so busy. Not only do you offer you twice a week, right? You're about to go spend some quality time with your family, as I know you do every summer. And I typically take summer off. So I kind of wind down my show. I devote time to my friends and my family and playing pickle and contemplating my navel and spending more time to meditate. So thank you for being here. And we were just having a little pre-pod chat about perception. So I'd really like to dive into that because we are on this space. We are out there in the universe. I know I've heard from you several times. My channel isn't big enough yet to have this happen. Not only are people faking and cloning us and pretending to be us, but YouTube is also like making it impossible to grow some channels. And so all the algorithms always change. And in that sense, just right there of perception, if we were to predicate our self-worth, our value, and the gifts we bring to the world on numbers, we would never be happy. So we need to understand who we are at the baseline, no matter what, no matter anybody emails us, calls us names, pretends to be us. So how does that resonate for you right now?
Yeah, like you're saying, I had an incident happen to me today, and I emailed or I was texting a friend, and the first reaction was because the person was saying that I was something that I'm not, and I get it that that's a perception, and I get to choose if I want to accept it or not. But the person was saying that I was something that I know that there was evidence of that's a false statement. Okay, so the old Debbie would have gone like, "Oh, just give it up. Let it go. Don't let it affect you." Da 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 da. And then spirit is going, "No, no, no, no. That's what's wrong. I'm not saying I know it or do it all, but that's where a lot of people lose their power is like just stifle it. The parent, the grandparent, society, people saying, "Oh, just ignore it. Just ignore it. Put it aside." And spirit was like saying to me, "No, that is the child of you wanting to make everybody happy, but it's not making you happy. So you're losing your power. You're losing your authentic self to make everyone else happy because they don't want, oh, don't disturb. Don't disturb." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was like, no, be in your power. You can, like I've been saying numerous of times on my video, especially on Thursday, because I do Thursday healings,
Mm.
is like acknowledge it, but don't accept it if it doesn't resonate with you. Right.
Right.
So I
Right.
acknowledged this person's comment, but I was saying, here's proof. Here's proof of what you're saying is false. Okay. And it was about predictions, me being true psychic or not being a true psychic. So she used one element because she thought I didn't mention it, that it wasn't true. And I'm like, but I got emails from numerous people because that's I only will say a prediction came true if someone emails me or texts me and say, "Oh, here's the information you said, and here it comes true." Because I don't watch the news. I don't want to watch the
Mhm.
news. Okay.
Okay.
And so I even sent her, I'm like, "Oh, here, a bunch of people are sending me an email saying that this prediction came true." Send it to her. And then she was like, "Well, you didn't say it was going to happen in Florida." And I'm like,
Mhm.
"So am I a fake or a half a fake or whatever?" So if I would have just downed it and not write back to her and just go, "Oh, I accepted that I'm a fake and that my predictions aren't coming true," then I lose my power. I gave my power to her.
Yeah. It's interesting. We have a choice. First of all, I'm sorry that happened because energetically, whether we know the people or not, it doesn't feel good to have anybody send us an email or a text or a DM. I had this happen to me, one of my first TikTok videos, telling people my mission is to help them matter. If I can help one person matter, my hashtag is you matter. And
Right.
this guy sent me a DM, stop, just stop. This is annoying. And I thought to myself, okay, first of all, you don't own me. Second of all, I
Right.
had a lot of compassion because clearly he was in a space that could not receive not only the message I was giving, but took it to the next step, like this person who emailed you to say, I'm going to prove something else about you. And although
Right.
I really was able to blow that off because I understood like that really wasn't about me, neither is what you received.
Yeah. And I know
But
that.
if it's somebody who knows us, and then they get it wrong. That hurts. Like, don't you know who I am? Like, don't you really understand me? But even so, how we let it sink in is our choice. And so when I went like this earlier before, and you're like, no, don't shake it off. That's not what I meant. For me, especially with this energy lately, I have been needing to like jump up and down, shake my body because there's so much energy. And it's like, I want to like a metaphorical loofah, just to brush it
Mhm.
off me. Because because listen, we know how to protect our energy, but even just opening up your email disturbs your energy for that moment. And no, you need to say, you're wrong. You have every right to say you're wrong. And if it goes back and forth, it's not getting anywhere. You can just block
Right.
the email or whatever.
Yeah.
But that is more about this person than about you. What I love about your predictions, first of all, you're so good at your craft that you've now dedicated certain shows to just explaining that these are the predictions I mentioned, and these, based on what you people have told me have come true, have come true. Because I think that's really important. It's one thing to listen to you on a Monday or a Thursday. It's quite another to remember you said, "Hey guys, watch out for trains. I'm seeing a lot of trains." And just in this week, there was 2 train derailments. And I was like, "Oh, that's what you predicted." People get so hung up on the where. And you even say, first of all, you always say, "I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong."
Mhm.
And you don't always say where the location is, but spirit sends you these visions and you're just trying to get the message out. And so it's up to us to say that resonates, that
Right.
made sense, or not. But to take that extra step to say, you're a fake is not about you at all.
Yes, and that I know. The thing was, I text a friend, a beautiful friend, and she was kinda like, "Oh, just let it go, and, you're not a fake, and da da da." I'm like, "No, I can't be in that space. I'm going deeper now." Spirit is saying, "No, that is the old Debbie." And then people can say to you, "Oh, just let it go." Do you let it go? No, you never do. So you're just stuffing it in. But if you announce it, write it, like how we're doing, discuss it. But I'm saying I'm acknowledging this. I'm not accepting it.
Mhm.
Just because I'm announcing it and I'm talking about it, how this person's perception of me, which is not my true perception, but how my someone's perception of me is saying I'm fake. I'm not saying I'm 100% perfect or whatever. And yes, have there been predictions that haven't come true, or maybe they were a little off? Of course, I'm not perfect, but I could do the same thing to that person. What do you do for a job? Are you 100%? My perception of you has nothing to do with you either, right?
Yeah.
But what Spirit was saying is, I'm giving you a gift here today, Debbie. I'm giving you a massive gift because I'm showing you what you used to do, or what society, a lot of the society, I'm not saying everybody, society, oh, just let it go. You know you're good. Just let it go. Forget about it. And Spirit's going, no, that is harming you more than healing you more. So to express, it's like telling the child within you, it's like expressing it out this way, like saying, "Oh, let it go." That's out this way. That is not connecting to the soul or the truth of who you are.
Mm.
Because my truth is, I know I did that prediction right. I know that was true. And how do I know? Because people are sending me pictures and da 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 da. I know that that prediction was so true because this is the beautiful gift that the universe gave to me. Before all this happened, the person emailed me, and I get a lot of emails. and I never take a picture of them. I just kind of look at them and then I write it down. And then when I do my predictions that came true videos, I honor these people or whatever. So Spirit said, and this is weeks ago. This is May 28th. Spirit goes, take a picture of this. I'm like, what? Why take a picture of this? Because the person said, wow, way to go, Debbie. You did it again. You predicted this explosion. And they even sent the picture of the rocket in Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and Spirit was like, take a picture of it. The old me would have been like, forget it. But the new me was like, okay, I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen. So this came up and I even sent her. So the Spirit's like, see, because otherwise I'd have to, because I do hundreds and hundreds of hours a month.
Yeah.
So I would have to be sitting there like trying to look. The body of me, the fear worrying doubt would be like, oh, looking for the picture. Let's look for it. And Spirit's like, no, I told you to take a picture of it because I knew this was going to come. So then I could send the picture to her.
Mm.
She still didn't believe in it.
Right.
Just because someone else sent you and said that it was true doesn't mean it's true. So then I repeated and said, well, just because you think I'm fake doesn't mean it's true.
No. Uh,
See, perception. So if I ignored it and let it go, I wouldn't have had this knowing, this being more in my power. Because if you're just letting it go and it still festers within you, you're giving your power away.
yeah. And again, like boundaries and self care look
Hmm.
very different, not only to other people, but even within ourselves, how we choose to react and respond to maybe the same situation. You could get an email when we're done with this podcast that won't trigger you or send you into that same place the way this one did. And so
Right.
you're exercising. You had just, your Gemini predictions. Of course, Geminis communicate. That's our gift. But you specifically were like, you need to use your voice to heal yourself and others. And so, like, something happened to me. It was just my birthday. And
Happy birthday.
thank you. And there was just something that happened that always happens within a certain group of friends. And I was prepared for it to happen, but I was already in a state of extreme. I was heading to my nephew's wedding, and I hadn't been to LA since my mother passed away. And
Wow.
I've never experienced PTSD. And to anybody out there truly having it, God bless you. This was mild compared to what I've heard and seen. I was in such a state of anxiety and upset, like I almost couldn't get on the plane. It didn't turn out as badly as I had imagined it. But all it took that day before was a text from somebody in this group saying something I knew they were going to say because they always do. And although I was prepared for it, I went fucking off. I'm like, oh my God. And I was working out and I got off my elliptical. And what do? I produce a Substack in like 5 minutes. And I'm like, I'm gonna do a podcast about this. I'm gonna do Substack about this. I'm writing, writing, writing. And I didn't send anything. All I needed to do was just get it out of me. And that's why I was saying, like,
Announce it.
however you can
Yes.
get it out, because otherwise, right, I don't have to like, I know enough now with the work that I do just on my own self, thank God, is when you're in those states of dis-ease to not send the email, to not make big decisions if possible. Sometimes you have to protect your energy, to prove your worth and value in a way that you need to. That day, I didn't say anything, and it was a good thing. But it's fascinating when we are not in our best alignment. And probably this woman who sent this thing to you is clearly not in hers. We're not
Yes.
our best selves. And it takes a lot of maturity and humor and forgiveness and prayers and ask spirit for help, like you always say, to give us that help. Say, how do I handle this? Please give me the strength, right?
Yeah.
So,
But you have to acknowledge it.
yeah.
You have to acknowledge it. And if people are like, "Oh, just let it go," or "Just forget about it," or just that is the worst thing that you can do. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's like, "Okay, at least I said it in my brain," or writing it out, or
Mhm.
talking to a friend, or even announcing it on your show. It doesn't matter. The people that are like, or that are listening and going, "Oh, just let it go." Maybe they're learning from you to
Mhm.
say, "No, I'm not going to let it go. I'm
Right.
announcing this." If it was true, then great, but it's not true. So me accepting it or letting it go or saying, "Okay, whatever," then I'm believing that her truth is my truth and it
Mm,
wasn't my truth. So then I'm accepting her falseness or her perception of me, kind of like what Louise Hay says. I love Louise Hay. It's saying if people say you're a purple pig, are you a purple pig?
right.
You're going to be a purple pig if you accept it to be a purple pig, right?
Well,
So
mhm.
acknowledging it will help bring your truth. If it doesn't resonate with you, if it's not the truth of who you are, and that their perception of you has nothing to do with you, your perception of them has nothing to do with them. But if you're not honoring or acknowledging this, then the child within you is going to be, oh, okay, don't speak out anymore. Don't say your truth because it's going to demise you. You're trying to make everybody else happy. You're not trying to make yourself happy.
And the time we're in with the rise of the divine feminine, and I know through readings, I emailed you before the show and I was re-listening to the most recent one I had with you. And it's always so fascinating. And any psychic, anybody in this space, if they're doing their job responsibly, they will say, this might be tomorrow. This might be it already happened. This might be it might not happen for 5 years. And so you make notes, right? Or you
Right.
go back and listen to it because a lot of those things have happened in that way. But in that same way, I was going to say, so like the rise of the divine feminine, you are correct. When we hold down from speaking out, right? You hurt my feelings. That is not true. You've got it wrong about me. Whether other people change their mind or not, we need to speak our truth
Yes.
and demonstrate what that looks like so that other women, especially, are saying, I'm not shutting up anymore. And it doesn't mean you need to be an asshole about it. Or maybe for
Right.
a little while, you need to go off that end and then come back to balance to practice what it sounds like and feels like. We are human and we are,
Right.
like you said, we make mistakes, we make missteps, but when we really know ourselves and that keeps changing, and we are allowed to admit we keep changing and talk about that, the people who are like, you just changed. You used to be this way. Like you said, the old Debbie would have, and then people wig out when we change. And I would say, of course, that's not about us at all. That's about them.
Exactly.
And like you said, if we stop growing and changing to appease others, we're only hurting ourselves.
Yeah. And hurting others because you're not helping other people to grow either.
Yeah.
Well, you learn from each other. You know, and I'm not the know it all, do it all, but I know I'm going through processes. I know I'm way deeper in getting this information, downloading this information, and I know it's not for just for me. So I feel like that's why Spirit is saying, don't stifle this. Don't just forget about it because there's a reason why Spirit said weeks ago, take a picture of this. There's a reason why she wrote me. It wasn't about me. What is going on that you have to destroy somebody because you're not believing in them? Why didn't you just stop watching me? There's something that she was crying out for something.
Mhm.
And maybe it's she's crying out to be the right fighter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe someone lied to her a lot. Or maybe there was other psychics that were fake or whatever. Or maybe it's a religion thing. You know what I mean? It's like, well, should I believe in them or should I not? So what I'm saying is I'm thanking her for writing me. I am. I'm thanking her because I'm growing, but I'm helping healing her too
Yeah.
if she wants to accept it. We don't have to look at this as a negative thing. If I was stifling it, then it would be to me in a more negative space because it would harm her, harm me, and harm all the people that I'm experiencing this with. The
Yeah.
people that are hearing this right now are wanting or needing to hear this right now.
100%. I was just gonna say, I'm not in a predictive space the way you are, but I'm predicting, and you can let me know if this is true. This same person is gonna come back around and wanna get a reading with you because I feel like she could really use it, and the experience would transform whatever is going on inside. And so you can just let me know if that happens. But I
It's
do
not going
wanna
to
talk
happen. It's not going to happen because she's not going to learn from me. She doesn't want to learn
Mm,
because she wants to be the right fighter. She wants to be right. And people would be like, well, maybe you're right fighting right now. No, because the prediction that she said that I was false or was fake, it was true. I don't do it like, oh, well, I'm going to try to fit that into the toothpaste. You know what I mean? The toothpaste holder, putting it in that space. If it was something else and I was like, yeah, you're right, I'll acknowledge that. So what is the healing that needs to be done? Obviously, I needed some healing so that I didn't do like I always did and stifle it and put it aside and, oh, okay, don't make anybody fluff their feathers. You know what I mean? Or to me, this is acknowledging me. This is acknowledging my power, my insight, my intuitive. And the more powerful I become, the more powerful you become, the more we can help,
Yeah.
right? This is getting me to a space of where I can help people. I'm learned from this. So then I can say to other people, well, this happened to me. But if you can learn something from this, I know I did. I'm really kind of giddy about it because it's like I finally acknowledge that little girl in me of like, no, speak up,
Yeah.
say your truth. Say, no, I don't accept this. I'm in my truth and I'm not going to give my power to you to make you feel better because you
Right.
think you're right. It's not because I think I'm right. It's because I'm in my power. I know it's in my truth. Is that making
This
sense?
is the difference. Yes, yes. It's proving ground. I say this all the time when I'm teaching yoga and working with clients. You're either in a proving ground or a playground. I learned that from someone else. And it's hard for people watching or hearing this right now how we can say this experience is a playground, but it is because it's a gift. It teaches us so much about our reactions, where we still are wounded or where we need to stand up and really make a change. And in that way, I wanted to connect with you too, because I know you are making some changes, wanting to bring more healing and knowledge to people. And you've teased it on your show a little bit. Are you ready to like explain more of what's going to be happening or not yet?
Well, like you said, I'm on vacation for a month. In a week or two, I'm leaving for Minnesota to see with my grandkids, and then do some ghost hunting with ghost hunting
Minnesota.
grandmas. And then me, my daughter, and my granddaughter are going to Florida because my granddaughter's in the parade. You know, the dance and all that stuff, which is a once in a lifetime chance. So I was like, I'm not missing this. But when I come back, I'm starting to do classes. So like I'm creating a class right now, manifesting in the is and manifesting from the is. And the is, my explanation of the is instead of I am, I believe I was showing in my near death the I is, which is being in the present moment, which is a tree. A tree is in the is. It doesn't go to the sun and say, give me so much sun. It doesn't go to the dirt and say, give me so much dirt. It doesn't go to the water and say, give me so much. It just is. It takes what it needs. It's in its present moment. When it's a seedling, and if it's going to be an oak tree, it doesn't go, I want to be a palm tree. It just is, right? And it flows through the seasons. Some, if it's a maple tree, it loses its leaves. It's not going against it. It knows its path. It knows its truth to lose its leaves, but then also to bring new leaf, new knowledge. And so that's what I'm saying. What's happening here is like this is my springtime. I'm getting new knowledge. So I want to teach classes from that kind of space of where you can manifest from the is to be in the frequency of it. And I'm going to be holding your hand. It's like a 7-day thing where you're going to do the affirmations and listening to a video and tell you this is what your intention is going to be through this day. And like you said, not dictating it or am I doing this right or am I doing it wrong? I want you to be in the space of don't try to dictate or this is really good or this is really bad. You're not going to learn from that. It's
Mm.
just be in the is and allow the information to come through you. And if you do this through the 7 days, which like I said, I will help you go through the 7 days. Watch the video, write out in the journal, do the affirmations, all that kind of stuff to allow you to be in your truth. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm helping you to be in your truth but in a non-judgmental way, because then you'll accept it. It's almost like surrendering, right? So that's one of my classes that I want to do. I want to also do classes on being intuitive, being insightful, being in that again, in the is having that all knowing, because my way is different than everybody else. Am I saying mine is right? No. Is theirs wrong? No. But there's different perspectives. We don't have to always do it because everybody is like, oh, let's do the clairs. I don't believe in the clairs, so I'm not going to go from that way. But if it works for you, great. Go through, learn about the clairs. I don't teach the clairs because to me, spirit showed it to me. It's too left brain.
Yeah, you've said that before, and I wanted to ask you, thank you for bringing that up. I feel like the language of
Hmm.
spirituality and opening up your intuitive gifts often are identified as the clairs, right? The five main seeing, hearing, the whole thing.
That's someone
How do
else's
you
perception, though.
So how do you explain the difference in your way?
Mine is, I want you to combine it all together.
Okay.
Because if you say, oh, I'm clairvoyant, like you're seeing. So if someone is like, oh, okay, I'm a seeing. They're just going to focus on the scene. They're just going to have a tube of the scene, and then your smell and your sound and your gut feeling and your all knowing is like, I'm trying to come in, but nope, she's just on that Claire. I got to just see it. And the universal source is saying, no, you take a bit of everything. Sure, one could be louder than the other. I call myself a photo psychic because I can look at a photo and read a person like that. And a lot of mine from seeing it in my third eye, yes. But there is days where I'll do a reading for somebody and I'll be like, oh my God, I'm almost sick because I'm smelling cigarette. And I'm like, who's the person that's smoked like packs a day because I'm smelling that smoke?
Mm.
And if I just focused on the clairvoyance, I wouldn't allow that smoke to come in. I'm saying to be in this space of allowing whatever is loudest, allow that to come in.
Yeah.
It's because it's all of it.
Good.
We're not just looking in a third eye. I'm seeing from these eyes. There's eyes in my hair. There's eyes in my hands. There's eyes in my arms. There's eyes in my spiritual being. There's eyes outside of me. So if I was just thinking clairvoyance, I'm just going to focus on my third eye. All these other eyes are like, well, what about us? We're gonna give you information. Hello, McFly. And then people are like, I'm trying so hard, Debbie. And I'm like, that's what I'm trying to tell you about.
Yeah.
If you're focusing on just these certain clairs, you're focusing just on those certain clairs.
Yeah. And you said the ability to surrender. I
Yes.
see this in class. I see this with clients. It brings up a lot of fear. I have a dog. I forgot if you have a cat or a dog or both. When animals go belly up, they are trusting, they're surrendering. And when we're opening up our intuitive gifts, I was taught and believe we connect on this. When you start opening up one, it brings friends, right?
Yes.
So if we only limit ourselves to the one, then yeah, the other friends can't get as loud or take over. It's like if I only did bicep curls, my triceps would be weak. So if we're only
Exactly.
using one of our abilities, then the others atrophy, or they're like, okay, you're not paying attention to us. We're gonna quiet down. So I think that's also connecting with how you're trying to teach people to be in the is, because that's also in a space where you're not labeling the who, you are being in the are, right?
Yes. You
ARE.
are in the truth of
Yeah.
who you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in the truth of who it's saying I, Debbie is to me, it's announcing
Mhm.
this is who I am. Again,
Yeah.
so that's why when someone's giving a different perception and you're like, no, I think this is my truth. Maybe I need to find more of my truth. Do you know what I mean? Find
Yeah.
my more courage or health, or wealth, or spirituality or joy or whatever you want to talk about. But I want people to connect to their truth and then you can be of service. We were taught, at least, because I'm a baby boomer, we were taught definitely in our age group was, what are you going to give me before I give it to you? We were taught you have to give something to get something. All right. Well, that's
Right.
not the way it works. The universal source is saying you're already it. You already intuitive. If someone is like, well, I want to be really intuitive, Debbie, you were born being intuitive. It's the fear, worry, and doubt and judgment of someone else's perception is blocking you. The truth of you is not going to block you. It's going to rise up to you.
That's and you had predicted I was going to be writing a book. I'm writing several. I'm editing my first one. And part of the work
Fantastic.
is
I love it.
when we, boomer age, we were taught also find something you're good at and do that. Like pick a lane and stay in the lane. And so what happens is, like I said, all the other lanes disappear, or we forget how multifaceted and multi talented we really are meant to be and can be. But if we're making a shit ton of money being a computer programmer, you're probably not going to pick up the guitar and go on tour, even though you really want to. And what you're saying, what I'm saying is, well, those are limiting beliefs that were placed upon you. We come into the world perfectly designed, and then life happens by how we're raised, by whom we're raised, the community, our religion, whatever it is, and our own stuff and experiences. And then little by little, we put on this armor and then we forget how flexible we're meant to be. And that's really hard for people because, like, if I'm not this, then who am I? And what we're trying
And
to help
that's what I
people
want to
is
help
you are
people.
all those things. And
That's the juicy spot for me
yeah,
because that's what I was showing in my near death is like you're going to be helping people find their spiritual truth. And when I talk about my near death, when spirit said you're going to help people find their spiritual truth, at that time I'm like, what the bleep and bleep does that mean? I had no freaking idea what they were talking about. I'm like, just mumbo jumbo to me. But because they're processing me through this, like the event that happened today. They're making me go through these processes so I have an understanding. I can't think or feel for anybody. Nobody can think or feel for you, no matter what, but you can have an understanding. And so they're having me go through these things so that I can teach this, so I can have an understanding. And then you can choose if you want to take a left or a right or be in your truth. Or maybe you're like, no, I'm happy that my family had a restaurant and they made me work at the restaurant and I didn't do my art or da da da. Da. Are you truly happy? Great. If you're not, then maybe that's where you want to look is this my truth? Why am I doing this? So it's just like if you're emailing me and saying I'm a fake, great. But why are you emailing me?
Well, and a lot of people who are in fear and worry and doubt would get an email like that and be called any name on the planet and believe it. And my mother would
Exactly.
say, and you already said it, if one person calls you a jackass, it doesn't mean you're a jackass.
I guess.
If
Right.
two people call you that, and then it's three, maybe start looking for a tail. But how you receive the words of others as your truth really says a lot about the work you still have to do within yourself. And so
Exactly.
it's not like you're battling this person because you're still in fear. It's like, no, I'm done accepting and not saying something. It's important to me and my growth to have this little back and forth exchange for a while until it doesn't serve you anymore.
Exactly.
And other people would
Beautifully
say,
said.
I'm
Beautifully
good
said.
no matter what. I don't need to engage with this person. That's low vibe energy or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's where that's the space I'm in now. I'm like, "Thank you, thank
yeah,
you, thank you." So now I have information or I have dialogue or I have another perception that I can talk to other people. If it resonates with you, great. But if you're not ready for it, if you're like, "Oh, she's just complaining," then great. The teacher comes when you're ready, right? The
well,
information comes to you when you're ready.
and the way we provide healing in our craft also is we're very real and raw and authentic and take our experiences as teachers and use those as platforms to help others because
Yeah.
not everybody's going to have the same experiences. That's why I started this podcast. I was in my friend's swimming pool with my girlfriends. They've been on the show, my pickle crew. We were talking about the best bras for an hour, right? As women can do, like, oh, where'd you get that bra? Oh, let me see that one, or whatever it is, or what's the best mascara? And I thought to myself, if we're talking about this for an hour, surely one other person would be interested in it. And I was like, I love to talk to people. I love to learn about things. And so anybody listening, hopefully this is inspiring you to find your authentic voice, remove the labels that are holding you back and encourage others to do the same, right? Not everybody has to say or identify as spiritual or intuitive.
Right.
We just want people to identify as divine humans having a human experience. And for all that is.
I love how you said labels.
Yeah.
So that person is giving you a label that is not believing in you. Again, another perception. But when you said labels, it was kind of like, oh, that's another perspective way of looking at that. So I'm glad that you said that word because it's like, am I accepting that label that they're trying to pin on me and that they want me to believe? So are you accepting that label? Or are you wanting that label? Because there's the other perception too of, oh, I want everybody to know I'm the best of everything and
Mhm.
you should give me the accolades. But labeling yourself I mean, is that being in your truth? What makes you happy? What makes you giddy? What makes you get up in the morning? What makes you stir? What is it that you're going to fight for? It's kind of like a mom with a child. Some of us can be mama bears. I'm not saying all of them because not all mothers are great, but a majority of us are like, no, I'm going to protect my child no matter what. You know what I mean? But we're so okay with protecting everybody else and thinking about their thoughts, feelings, and emotions. When's the last time you thought of yourself? When's the last
Protecting
time you
your
protected
child.
yourself?
Exactly, your inner child.
And
Yeah,
so when this came to me, this is me healing my inner child. It was like the inner child of me is like, "Aren't you going to protect me anymore? Are you going to walk your talk, Debbie? Are you going to walk your talk?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is what it's teaching me. You're telling everybody else to surrender and be in the truth of who you are. Don't accept this person. Don't ignore this person. Announce it and say, this is where I'm coming from. And if everybody else is like, oh, just be quiet on it and oh, shut up. And that's their perception because maybe it's hitting something in them. If I can help one person from this talk, I'm fantastic.
right. Yeah,
Fantastic. I don't need a million. I don't need 100. I don't need 10. I don't even need two. But if
Huh,
it's like,
it's about
if
the
someone's, like,
one.
hearing the words of, like, "God, I don't know, when's the last time you talked to the child of you? When's the last time you did go on the swing? When was the last time you did do the bubbles? When did you
Mm.
singing, dancing the music, disco duck since you were a kid or something, you know what I mean? Go roller skating. Acknowledge the child within you instead of always being the adult of you, right?
Yeah. In the reading I received with you, I think the most recent one, it came to you that in order for me to expand my own business, you said, send your inner child, your little 6-year-old self out to get the clients. Like, send her out, let her go get those people. And it's funny because I am pretty gregarious and silly and childlike most of the time, except
Right.
for some reason, because I know life makes us have these definitions. If you're growing a business, you have to take that seriously. And it's like, there's no fun in that. And then, of
Right.
course, we're also raised life isn't supposed to be fun. Who said that? You know,
Again,
achieving it. So
right. Exactly.
yeah, and it's like and
Exactly.
that's so one of the first meditations I ever offered when I was going through teacher training, this was back in 2012. It was a total download because I hadn't thought of it before. It was a whole meditation about seeing yourself in front of a mirror and putting all those labels, whether you think this about yourself, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm this, I'm that, like bing bang pow from Batman. And then with breath and awareness and intention, just start to erase them, right? Some of them are going to get popped. And who is left? Your divine essence, the is who
Mhm.
you are as already who you are. And we just place all these things because we are good at them. They really do feed our ego or our joy or both. But what happens is, especially as mothers, and this is my niche. I love getting my hands on the mommies is we are meant to let our children fly. And then people call it empty nesting. I don't call it empty nesting. I call it
Right.
full opportunity to then explore who you are now. But a lot of women, especially who identify themselves by who they are as a mother, what they do, are completely lost when the kids move because they haven't done the work on unlabeling
Exactly.
themselves. Yeah. And
And
it's,
that affects a lot of marriages even when the kids are
yeah.
a lot of divorces happen when the kids graduate high school or close to graduating, and they're like, "Okay, we're done," because they didn't connect to each other, or you're not in your truth because people it's slow, it's slow. It's kind of like, you're not gonna notice it, and maybe people around you aren't gonna notice your growth. But it's kind of like, now I'm gonna see my granddaughter. My daughter's not seen her kids growing, but I'm gonna go to Minnesota and I'm gonna be like,
Right.
"Damn, look at how tall you are. Look at how much
Yeah.
you've grown." And my daughter's gonna be like, "Really? Where?
Yeah.
When?" Because it happened gradually.
Do you know what I wish would happen gradually? And my friend calls these the what the fucks. As we get older, all of a sudden you look in the mirror like, what the fuck is this now? What
I
is
know.
this now? It's like, I wish that would happen a little more
I
slowly.
know. A little bit more gradually. But I think we have the power too, because I did 2 readings this last week from ladies. One was 79, one was 80. You would have never I was like, "Oh my god, you're gorgeous." They were both gorgeous. They did not look 80 or 79.
Mm,
And then it was telling me is like, "You can be just as gorgeous." And I'm not saying physically, but I mean spiritually. I mean, they had
yeah.
the spice, but the spirit of them was so enlightened so that it showed on their physical self.
Mhm.
They were like, "No, I walk every day and I'm doing something that I love to do." And here they are, 79, 80. One wants to write a book and one wants to start doing lectures and one wants to start doing a podcast or whatever. And most people would be like, "You're too old. You're too old." Because, like me being in my 60s, people would be like, Aren't you going to retire?" I'm like, "No, a lot of my friends are retiring. I'm going the other way." You know what I
Just
mean?
getting started, babe.
Just being started, baby. I'm going to be like
Yeah.
them, 80 years old. Or like Louise Hay, she started her thing at 60 and then she lived until she was her 90. I mean, when she was in her 70s, 80s, you thought she was 60 because
Yeah.
of that love and that vibration and that kind of thing.
Ugh, it's
Yeah,
hard.
it's
Knowing how old we are, and this came up when I turned 60, you start doing the reverse math in a way that you never did before. Like when you're younger, it's like, oh, 60 seems so big. And when you get here, it's like, I'm lucky if I live another 40 years, that's my plan, or beyond.
right.
But that's an unequal equation at this point, right? We're over the half mark. And so a lot of people would say, yeah, babe, aren't you going to slow down? You're like, uh-uh. No.
You know what is really, really funny is from people's birthdays, I find out what their life path, purpose, or lesson is. And the spirit just downloaded to me this week or last week that our life path, purpose, or lesson. So, like my life path, purpose, or lesson is security, foundation, truth, and trust. That's where I'm at. Okay. I think yours was communication, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Okay. And I mean, perfect. Perfect for you.
Yeah.
I think wonderful. So, spirit was showing me you need to tell the people from 1 to about 45 or 50, we are having the challenges of learning about security, foundation, truth, and trust. So I didn't have any security. I didn't have any truth. I would always say to spirit, why the hell am I going through this hell and high water? Why? And they're like, because you have to know what your clients are going through. You know what I mean? You have to know what death feels like. You have to know what a divorce feels like. You have to know what an illness feels like. Not saying that I can think or feel for them, but I can have an understanding. So spirit was saying, most people are learning their life path, purpose, or lesson, not with ease the first 45 years. You're learning the lesson around it so that you can be of service of it from 45 and on.
Oh,
And
it's
you get to
safe.
choose how far you want to do it. Like you're saying, oh, I want to do it until I'm 100,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So we're learning all that information that we've gathered, and now we're going to use it as service. I'm not saying you're still not learning,
Yeah.
but you're in a different perspective. Eh?
No, and my lens is the chakras, and they go about
Right.
every 7 years, and so when you just said, like, around 45 or 50, you're at the crown, and then in tribal communities, in most every other community, they revere the elder women as I don't like the word crone, I like sage, but they're wise, and what happens after you hit the crown at that age, you start all over again, and now you know how to develop a different type of security in your root chakra, how to experience joy and passion in a way that you never did in your teens because you didn't know what your body was meant to do or how to say what you really want, and so forth and so on. And so, with that new empowerment and life experience, now we do it again. And we're
Right.
meant to explain those things in ways people can understand. And that's why we do what we do, because not everybody,
Fantastic, I love that. I
yeah,
love because that's just giving me a confirmation of what was downloaded, giving maybe it gives you a little bit of confirmation too of like, "Oh, this is a reality. This is kind of like a law." I'm
yeah.
not saying it has to be embedded, but it's kind of like, this is the energy because you have to have energy to turn on the light. That's a law, right? You need to turn on the light switch to get the light to go. You can't just go, "Okay, turn on light." Well, maybe you can, but I don't know. But you know what I mean? It's like you need to turn it on. So if we have another perspective, another knowledge, another way to look at something, it's learning. And I love it. I love it as much as like biting into a juicy plum or something. Give me some more knowledge.
Yeah.
But sometimes they give it to you in a way that you don't want the know. It's like, really? Did you have to show it to me that way? Did you really have to have that person? Well, we're marrying to you, Debbie, what you want to know. And sometimes I can be very stubborn and I don't listen. So we got to send it to you in an email, right?
Yeah.
So then you're grateful for it. Grateful. Huh. Love. Thank you
Yeah.
for the lesson. And I hope I taught you something.
Of course, of course. And now it's time for joy on the fives. So, Miss Debbie Griggs, I know part of your mission is all about joy, but what is bringing you joy besides this conversation? And I'd love to also hear from you what sort of spiritual practices you do to take care of yourself. So, first go with the joy and
Okay.
then
So what gives me
answer that.
joy is doing this,
Yeah.
downloading information, finding missing people, being with my grandchildren and all that stuff. But spiritually, what gives me joy is being in the knowing that I'm doing what I love to do. That gives me joy. What gives me joy is going to the ocean because I love the ocean. To just sit there and be part of the ocean, be part of the earth, part of the space. Another joy is going for a walk and smelling the roses and looking at the squirrels. And when the flowers are falling on me, and I'm like, oh, look at the gift. Look at the gift that they're giving me. Looking at things in a different perspective is giving me a lot of joy. Reading things that I love to hear about. I love biographies. I love learning about manifesting. I love about learning about spirituality. That gives me so much joy. Joy that I have security and love with my husband, and my husband has love and security with me, and my children and my grandchildren. I mean, there's so much joy in things. I enjoy with my crystals.
Yeah.
This could be the simplest little thing of like wearing crystals. I've got probably about 1,000 or more crystals all around me. So the energy of that, that gives me joy. And I want to help other people be in joy. That gives me joy. Healing other people or helping them. And not being that I'm the know it all or do it all. But if it's like, oh, you make me feel happy today, Debbie. Yes, I love that. That gives me joy. It's kind of like an actor or a performer or a comedian. I want you to laugh, so that makes me laugh, kind of thing.
You
Truth,
call
being in
that
my joy, doing
dharma.
what I want to do,
Yeah.
but acknowledging it, acknowledging it. Yeah.
And so I've heard you often say when there's going to be an earthquake, your stomach's upset. When spirit comes through, you start sweating. I see you turn your little fan on. Is there anything you just do personally? I'm not asking you to teach others, but everything you say teaches others. But do you have spiritual practices that you do, whether it's just to protect your energy or just how do you connect? I
Well,
guess.
my format, if you listen to my videos a lot, I always say, don't say I'm protected, because then the universal source is going to go, she wants something to be protective of. So if you're like, I'm protected, they're like, she wants to be protected. So let's get her in a car accident. And so she can say, I got protected. Do you know what I mean? It
Uh,
could be in that space, right? You can demand and command. See, people don't understand that we are in a choice 3D space. It's a law. And that the schools, the churches, the religions, the parents, the society, family lineage says you can't command something. No, we're in a commanding space. Sure, we have our life path put out to us, but we can choose. It's like when I moved to California, I could choose to fly there, walk there, run there, bike there. I could take a motorcycle. I could take an SUV. I could take a ship. I could do that. That's the choice, right? But if you're like, I want to go to California, but everybody's saying I need to ride my bike there. No, you can command and say, I know I'm going to California, but I command that I fly there first class. And where people are like, oh, that's rude. You can't command. No, you can't. The universal source, God, Buddha, whatever you believe in, is like, yes, she knows exactly how she wants it. She knows exactly that. I'm not saying to dictate it. I'm saying this is my truth. I command that I, Debbie, is happy, healthy, whole, and complete. Something like that.
yeah.
You can command. So if I command, I only allow the highest vibration to come through me, that's what's going to happen. The universe
Right.
is like, okay, great. We don't need to do protection on her.
Mm.
She's already protected because she already commanded that I'm only allowing the highest vibration to come through me and around me now and forever. That's what I say to myself.
For a Gemini, I like all the options. So it's like surround and ground, connect and protect, but I also connect me to the highest frequency for my highest good
Right,
in all moments. So I'm going to practice dropping the default
right,
setting of protection and see what that does. Thank you for that. And I'm not hearing like it's keeping me in a lower vibe, but there is a little fear I recognize when you say that, and the fear alone doesn't let you
right.
lift as high. Yeah.
And
Okay.
because fear, worry, doubt, or judgment is not your story,
Yeah.
I will bet you until infinity and beyond that if you're thinking in a fear, worry, doubt, or judgment, it is not your story.
Yeah.
It is not
Yeah.
you. It's not your
Yeah.
truth.
For
It's
sure.
probably, oh, I saw that they were going to have an earthquake, or oh, they're going to have a bomb, or this side is true or that side is false. And fear, worry, and doubt and judgment is always someone else's story that you're accepting.
Mhm.
Okay. So, you know how they say if you're in angst, you're fearing the future. But we only have the is. There is no time. We only have the present moment. So, what is around you right now is what you thought in the present moment before. So, if you're not in the home that you want to be in, there's some part of you that's not accepting the home you want to be in because maybe you were in fear, worry, and doubt for many years. Like, oh, I don't know if I could afford that house,
Mm.
or the money's going to be taken away from me, or blah 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 blah. Then the money's taken away from you, right? Just like where I was saying, if you're like, oh, I need to be protected, I need to be protected, I need to be protected. Well, the universe is like, okay, we're going to give you something to be protective of. So you can command and demand, I desire, I only want the highest vibration to come through me and around me. I command that I, Debbie, is rich, well, and happy. I'm not going to dictate how it's going to happen, but the
Right.
universal source, God, Buddha, will get you into the path because it's going to feel true that it's going to get you to where you're wanting to be.
One of my favorite things you say as a reminder is just what you're saying. Be specific. The universe has given us a menu at a restaurant. You don't sit down and say, give me whatever. You're like, I
Right,
want the chicken, I want the da 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 da. But you always say, like, be careful asking for extreme abundance. Be specific with the abundance because the universe hears abundance, they're going to send you 55 chickens.
right.
I'm
And
always
you can tell the
careful.
eggs. but
Right.
that's not abundance, right?
But I think for a lot of us, especially women too, unfortunately, and let's just stop this right now, everybody out there watching and listening. You are allowed to ask for what you want without shame,
Exactly.
guilt, or fear of being selfish. We are put on this
Exactly.
planet to enjoy this life. And if we are not specifically stating, I have every right to enjoy this life, and here's what would bring me joy, ask for it and believe you deserve it.
Right. Yeah,
Just,
joy.
yeah,
Be in that joy.
yeah.
Put on that song of this disco duck or whatever, you know what I mean? Go out there, my
Disco,
phone's being that split
disco
thing,
duck.
disco duck. Remember, he used to say, "Roll speak to it." But you know what I mean? It's like, listen, and that brings the child in me out. It's like I hear certain songs and you're like, "Oh, that happened in the '80s." Oh, and then all of a sudden your life in the '80s flashed in front of you.
Yeah,
So connect to the vibration and the frequency that is gonna get you into your joy, and that's when you can command and demand. It's like, "I demand, I want to win the lotto." No, that's dictating it. It's like financial freedom or $10,000,000, but don't tell it how the 10,000,000 is gonna come to you. You might inherit it, or it might come to you in 10 different ways. You might win 1,000,000 here, and you might get a painting and it's worth 1,000,000, or you inherited a diamond ring that's worth 1,000,000, or you find 1,000,000. You don't know how it's gonna come to you. Don't dictate how it's gonna come to you, but just say,
right.
"I safe and worthy to receive it, and I demand that I'm financially free." But you can't be begging and being fear, worry, and doubt of like, "I'm not gonna get that house." So this is what I've said too before on my show. People believe in miracles. I'll say to people, "How many people believe in miracles? Raise your hand." Everybody's gonna raise their hand. Okay. Do you truly believe in miracles? Yeah. Okay. You believe an accident can happen in a second, but why don't you believe a miracle can happen in a second? It's the same energy, people. It's the same vibration. It's all in where you're commanding intention and focus. I'm not saying not to never say the word protection, but if you're overly, oh, I'm protected, I'm protected, I'm protected, it's going to attract that protection. It's like,
Yeah.
Debbie, is rich, well, and happy no matter what. I'm always financially rich, super duper happy. If I have my health, if I have my wealth, and I have my spiritual joy, it fits everything. Notice I didn't dictate it. I didn't say I need the house on the coast and I need a house in Minnesota and I need to fly first class and I need to find 1,000 billion. No, the spiritual realm, your truth knows what you are desiring.
It
Just say,
does.
I safe
Oh.
and worthy to accept it. And I command it. I expect it.
Right. Well, expecting and deserving also put people in a lot of shame and guilt because they don't believe they are worthy of the gifts the universe is more than willing to provide. And
And
so,
and why is that so? Because of someone else's perception of you.
exactly.
And you
Exactly.
accepted it.
Yes. All right. So we didn't even begin the show telling anybody who you are. So as we're
Oh,
ending the show, I'd like to, we just go right for it. I love that about us.
no.
So why don't you tell all the listeners and watchers who you are, how to find you, and all of those things?
I go by Psychic Debbie Griggs or Debbie Griggs. Intuitive. I do predictions every Tuesday night on my YouTube channel. I love doing predictions. I've done predictions since I was a little child. I love finding missing people. I love helping people find their blockages. Like if I'm doing a reading, I'll say, okay, what happened? Because we carry stories and they will give me the age of, do you want me to focus on? Well, my wealth. Okay. You probably had a story that you carry to someone maybe at 6 or 8. And then it's like, well, love. Oh, well, that was that person that you were dating at 14. So I love doing that kind of stuff. I do that kind of work. I also like to help people manifest, be in the is. I had a near death. So Spirit keeps on downloading me information and of being in the space of your truth. I love helping people with that. And I love crystals and all that kind of stuff. I'm a mom and a grandmother and a wife, and I love this kind of work. I love this kind of space.
Yeah.
And I'm booked out until December, so I'm pretty booked out. But if you want to get a reading from me, psychicdebbie.com. And if you want an earlier reading, but I would charge more, I'm doing that too. So if it's like an emergency reading, like, oh, I need this reading, I'll try to fit you in there somehow and doing that. But and then, like I said, I'm starting to create classes, and I want to do that kind of thing. And write. And spirits like, you need to write a book, and I'm like, and what time? I have no time, so you got to give me some time here, people. But I'm just listening. I'm just listening to the universe. It will happen when it needs to happen, kind of thing. So yeah, and I'm on TikTok and I'm on Instagram, Psychic Debbie Griggs. Like I said, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook, but I don't usually go on Facebook too much anymore. I mean, I'll announce when my next show is or what it's about on Facebook.
And just a reminder also to everyone listening and watching, neither one of us will ever reach out to you for money or to provide a
Exactly.
reading. Those are not any of us. You know how to find Debbie. I'll put it in the show notes,
Psychic.
psychicdebbie.com. And I am Lauri at customdesignedwellness.com. We do want to help people, but we don't want anyone to fool our favorite people out there. So
Yes.
make sure you're doing your due diligence. We won't reach out to you unsolicitedly. Debbie,
Yes.
thank you so much for joining me again and
Thank
sharing
you.
your experience because it's so, so helpful to hear that you're human and that comes out in everything that you do. And thank you for all the predictions you provide and the healing that you offer on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And
Thank you. And thank you because I can see the authentic spirit around you wanting to help women, moms, wives. I can feel it. I can sense it. It's just oozing out of you. And I think that's so, so lovely because there is not enough of you. Do you know what I mean? There's not enough women like you that are wanting to focus on helping women being in their truth. So thank you for being you. Thank
thank
you for
you.
your show. I really do. I love it. I just love it.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Everyone, thank you for watching and
And
listening.
be in your joy. Be in your
Be
joy.
in your joy.